And we begin this hour in KwaZulu-Natal because Judge Nkosinathi Chili is today expected to make a ruling in the application of former President Jacob Zuma and French arms company Thales. That's all happening in the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. Zuma had applied for leave to appeal Chili's earlier ruling in which he dismissed their application for acquittal. Zuma had joined Thales in their application for this acquittal. The company argued that it would suffer prejudice as it couldn't, test the state's evidence because its former employees were key state witnesses and in fact have now died. In fact, they were key witnesses, in this case. As you can see, our reporter Nonhlakanipho Magwaza, is watching the story and joins us now live. And Nonhlakanipho, depending how this goes, this decades-long case may finally get underway.
Good morning, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. Yes, as you've said, it has been dragging on for almost 18 years. Now, it's not just the ruling for former President Jacob Zuma and French arms manufacturer Thales ruling that is expected today. You'd remember, Ayanda, that the state also made an application to seize or oppose these appeals that these two have brought forward to the courts. However, we do have our legal experts with me who will be just unpacking what is expected to happen here today. Mr. Zikalala, we do know that it is not just one ruling that is expected. If you can just tell us what else is expected to happen today.
Well, there are two rulings in which the court will have to determine today. The first one is the leave to appeal. That's what we would call an ordinary one, where can they go to the SC in order to appeal the decision of this judge? But the second one, which is going to be crucial, is that whether they can be able to continue while the appeal is going on. Quite a step which is extraordinary. I would say in a criminal case within the South African context has never been done before, but I think the state is relying on what we call the inherent jurisdiction of the High Court that says we can make the rules as we go along, just as long as the rules are in compliance with the rules of natural justice, just as they're in line with what the Constitution is saying. Now, that's going to be the most important one, because if they do succeed on that one, it means that the former president will have to start trial here. Meanwhile, they're still going on at the SCA or even the Constitutional Court on their appeal. And it will be something that has never been done before. So the judge will have to find extra reasons as to say why that should happen, and most importantly, how then did you protect the interest and the rights of the accused, in this case the former president, taking into account that they must be protected at all times.
Now, Mr. Zikalala, it's been like over 18 years or almost 18 years. Former President Jacob Zuma has put in 8 appeals and he has lost all of them. Should by any luck he wins this one, what will happen in future?
Basically, if he wins any of the appeals, because his application has always been, let's dismiss this matter. Remember that he has pleaded. So once you have pleaded and there's a certain matter that has been, that succeed, it means the end of the case. There's nothing else in which the state will be able to do. Hence why you find them fighting vehemently to say, whatever applications that you are putting through, we want to make sure that you're able to defend them. But we must separate two things. The traversing of any appeal processes and any legal avenues by a person who's accused is something that is within their rights to do. The law allows them to do so. So they can't be faulted or be punished for doing so in the interest of saying you want this matter to simply go on. If you think that you are innocent, then why do you engage in all these things? It's a legal strategy available to the former president, and he has a right to do so. But what the court can do is to come back and say, let's make another inquiry. Is it in the interest of justice that you're going to traverse all these things, or should we get on with the matter, because there are many other things that are there? Now, in this case, it's going to be quite unique, because on the previous occasion, one will have to go back and look where the submissions that were made that made substantial sense, and that would provide exceptional circumstances to the judge to say you must be able to continue. Remember, two balancing rights. I need to protect the interest of the accused. At the same time, need to make sure that the interest of justice is being exercised on a daily basis by uncovering and making sure that there are no unreasonable delays from both parties.
Now, Thales and Zuma are arguing that 2 of the key witnesses have since passed away, and this will be unfair prejudice against their case. Now, should this be dismissed as well, going forward, how will their case fare?
It's one of those in which The passing away of witnesses impacts both individuals, but it impacts the state more, because it's the burden of proof in which the state bears that they must prove beyond reasonable doubt that the person is guilty. So it's that state that comes with evidence. So if there are going to be witnesses that pass on, it's actually the state that is in a disadvantage. So to make that type of argument does not really help Thales and the former president. Of course, they may come back and say, this was my star witness, he was going to prove that I'm innocent, so on that basis, this is where I am. But that's the inquiry which I'm talking about, in which the court then sits and then says, let me weigh these two options, which is the better option between the two, and take it from there. But there was one aspect which, for me, hasn't been answered by the NPA. You waited 10 years before you were recharged to the former president. In fact, you were forced by the court to do so. Isn't it that the mere fact that you have wasted so much time is for your own peril, and you can't then come back and say to the court, this is what I want to do, when you are the one that caused this delay in the first place? So those are all the things that should be considered by the judge.
Thank you so much. We ran out of time. I had so many questions to ask you. As you heard, Ayanda, that the case or the ruling can go either way. We will wait to hear what the actual ruling is. Back to you in studio.
Magwaza, live to us from the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. For now, thanks very much indeed.